Well, another fine day. Time to go home. And the great cool thing is we have a little local election stuff here for our school board, of which I'm going to vote no, N-O. All they do is want more money, and they produce dumber and dumber kids. Kids today can't even read English, count change, confused about, if they have a penis or don't have a penis, and no idea. They don't understand how government works, that we're not a democracy, that we are a republic, and they don't seem to understand that. We've got nothing but inept teachers, teaching, well, I wouldn't call it teaching, indoctrinating kids. And this millage has been shot down like 3 times. I hope it gets shot down again. The administration is what has to go. The school board administration is deplorable, and the superintendent is if it's the same guy I'm thinking of, he's a scumbag, and he needs to go. And you need to teach kids how to read, write, add, subtract, work on their car, balance a checkbook, formulate a budget, get them to understand loans and interest rates, and maybe a class on the stock market, how that works. I mean, there's just so many things that they could be teaching kids rather than spending millions of dollars on a football field that maybe less than a handful of kids actually get a scholarship someplace. Oh, but you're robbing my kids of a scholarship. He's never going to go pro. And how about the other, 400 kids there that aren't going to get scholarships? Because they don't play sports. Maybe they physically can't do sports. I mean, it's just dumb. And these young guys, blow out their knees. They ruin their health. As they get older. Broken collarbones. Meniscus tears, just all kinds of stuff. You name it, man. And the young bodies, they'll bounce back, but as they get older, it rears their ugly head again. And they could revert back to, my glory days when I was in high school. I blew out my knee. It's really gross, but the girls liked it. That doesn't get you anything. What an idiot. And I'm all for physical fitness and blah, blah, blah. We had weightlifting when I was in school. I love that class. My favorite class. One of the reasons why I still lift today. And, that's what they need to instill in kids, physical fitness. Not whether or not, I was born with a penis, but I feel like I'm a girl. So I play with Barbie dolls. This penis is a mistake. I shouldn't have it. Come on. Who are these parents? And these so-called professionals telling these kids, it's okay. We can have a conversation about it. What do they call it? Gender dysmorphia. You have gender dysmorphia. Shut up. It's the stupidest thing ever. But anyway, so that's what they need to concentrate with our kids on, and how to live your life as a productive adult. Not a dilapidated moron. You don't teach kids cursive. How do they read the letters, from our founding fathers? You hope the computer program will decipher it? No, you should be able to read it yourself. love letters. There's all kinds of stuff. Your grandparents wrote in cursive. Wills were written in cursive. They weren't printed. Give me a break. This shows how dumb people are. Well, you're too stupid to comprehend, read cursive, to learn how to write cursive. You're just too dumb. So we got to dumb down the education system so that you can keep up with the other idiots. Got to save democracy when we're not a democracy. We're a republic. Anyway. So that's my short little rant as I'm on my way over to go vote. Vote no on the trashy public school system that we have. And the libtards and gender dysmorphic ideology pushing sissified school district. They actually wanted to spend, I think it was like, $3 million for a football field with AstroTurf or something stupid. When we played football, it was grass. And if it rained, it was muddy. And it was fun. It was AstroTurf with foam padding underneath there. It's just like, these kids aren't going to play college football, the majority of them. And certainly not going to be in the NFL. You got to have the right parents with enough money to move you around to different schools. This school district up here is not going to get that kind of attention. And I know parents that have shuttled their kids around from one, big school to the next just to get them to play football and baseball. That's their whole life. It's like, why don't you educate your kids on doing something productive for society? Whether or not they can play baseball or football. That doesn't produce anything. What does that produce? Nothing. Produces a guy that makes too much money in a sport the average guy can't take his family to. Or they save all year to go to one game. It's just like, it's so dumb. So dumb. Instead of building on, giving that kid the best education he could possibly have. And so that he could, do something beneficial for mankind or just his own family. Being smart enough to earn 6+ figures, invent something or a company startup and builds a company, builds a brand, and then his generation, his children's generation can all, work for, grandpa. I've worked for billionaires, and I'm not going to mention names, but his kids were so stupid they tried to have him declared incompetent. Well, that backfired big time. He was eccentric. And I had the opportunity to meet him and his wife several times. He had 3,000 acres up here. He had another 3,000 acres down in Florida. One of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. I'm sad to say, he's no longer around. But he had a fistful of kids that tried to declare him incompetent because they wanted his money. And, it didn't work. It backfired. He wrote them all out of his will. And they all got a little bit of money, and that was it. Boom, done. But you broke the heart of that old man, and you ruined that family because you bunch of greedy bastards. And I'm telling you, it's terrible. These kids today. Just YouTube it. My God, some of the stuff, you see these kids behaving in shopping centers and grocery stores and, some of the, take them outside, whoop their ass. I'm here to tell you, kids need discipline. They want structure. They want to know that they're safe, sound, and secure, and mom and dad are protecting them, and dad's leading the way, and man, you don't screw with the old man. You don't back talk your ma, that sort of stuff. I'm just, I love my kids, love them to death. I have the best kids in the whole world, and big part of that is my wife. My wife's done an awesome job in homeschooling our kids, and I look at my kids today. I'm just so proud of my kids. Anyway, so I'm talking. I wanted to just make a short video, but now it's 10 minutes long. But anyway, like and subscribe. I don't know where you're at. If elections have popped up in your district or your state or whatever, I actually left work early to go vote, and I'm blessed that I have that ability to do so. I was going to do it this morning and I forgot. And anyway, so I'm heading out there to do it now because it's part of my civic duty, and I don't miss a vote. So I encourage you to not, miss a vote as well. You can Google a lot of times what's up for election in your district. There's tons of information that's out there so that you could have, you could make somewhat of a decent, informed, vote. But when it comes to raising taxes and crap like that, I'm a no, because they're not putting out they're not putting out quality merchandise, put it that way. We're getting substandard results for the amount of money that is afforded to these kids in the United States, and you can't keep putting up with it. So I'm going to vote no. Coke in a glass bottle. It's another pet peeve. That's another video. Oh, I love it. Coke in plastic and cans, disgusting. I'll make another video on that one as to why. Why? You can do your own quality taste test. It tastes better out of glass than it does a can or a plastic bottle. We talked about, well, anyway, that's another video. So, hey, like and subscribe, and go vote, pay attention, and even little things on a small level, man. I mean, you got to watch what's going on, and so get involved, go vote. That's where I'm heading, and give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you think I'm full of BS, don't leave a comment, because I won't read it. I just delete it. And but thanks, I appreciate you guys. And if I haven't told you that I love you today, I love you. At least somebody does, right? And I wish the best for you, as long as it's good, godly, and you're not hurting anybody else, and you're being productive, and you're being supportive. You support your family. Anyway, otherwise I'll just keep blah, blah, blah. But be a good person today, and go vote, and love on your wife and love on your kids. Make sure you tell those that you love them. Make sure they hear that from you. Not in a text message, but call them up so they can actually hear your voice and hear you say, hey, love ya. That goes a long way. I know it does for me. So it should for you too, if you have any common sense. So anyway, thanks, and I'll see you on the next video.